Yeah, much better defense. Our best defensive effort in a long time. Ball pressure was good. The rotations were good. Guys were challenging shots, and Clippers obviously didn't have a great night shooting. I mean, they missed some open ones, but I thought we had something to do with that too.
You closed with Moody, Kuminga, and Poole. Do you feel them collectively pushing their way more into the current picture, really?
Yeah, I mean, every game is different, and so it's hard to predict what's going to happen. But I do like the Jordan, Steph, Klay combination. There's a lot of proof that those three guys play well together. And JK, every minute of experience we can get for him is important. And I did not want to go back to Looney because back to back, and got another game. He's got to guard Jokic in a couple of nights. And so there were a few reasons why we closed the game the way we did. We would have preferred to get everybody out with 4 minutes left, but Clippers made that run, and we had to stay with those guys.
Steve, how much of the defensive repair is just about breaking some of the bad habits that have surfaced over the past month plus?
Yeah, some of it is bad habits. Some of it is maybe just being in the doldrums a little bit. I think the attention to detail was better today, and I think it'll continue to get better, especially when we get Draymond and Andre back. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be really good defensively again. We were great defensively for 40 or 50 games, whatever it was. So we can get back to that level.
Steve, there was a fun energy pregame with Will Ferrell out on the court, and did you sense that kind of uplifted the guys? And what how did that come about? What did he say in the locker room after warmups, going in there to see you guys?
Yeah, he actually emailed me a while back, and I didn't believe it was him. And so we exchanged a couple of emails, and then concocted the plan. And he's a huge Klay Thompson fan, and he knows how much Klay loves dressing up as Jackie Moon, and so it was just kind of a natural fit, and it felt like a good time to do it, just to make everybody laugh in a tough stretch of the season. And he was great. He came into our locker room, made the guys laugh, and everybody loved seeing him and hearing from him. He was hilarious, and it was just something different to do.
You didn't believe him.
I sent him a series of questions that only he would know. No, he insisted, so I believed it.
This seemed like one of Bielitsa's better games in a while. It kind of had some nice flashes last night too. Just wondering what you thought about him.
Yeah, Belly was great tonight. He's such a talented player, as a passer and shooter, and stretch big, fits our offense really well. All the passing, the movement. It's been a tough stretch for him over the last month or 6 weeks, whatever. But everybody has those stretches, and we're going to need him. And certain matchups are going to call for his presence out there. And I thought he played really well tonight.
You mentioned the Steph Klay Poole combination was very good in plus minus before the game. You mentioned it tonight. Has that been at all a little bit in resistance to that, just because of the defensive matchups maybe? And have you just said, hey, you know what, let's just put him out there?
There's certain nights where there's some defensive, question marks, just size wise, with Steph and Jordan out there. But Jordan held up really well as the starter defensively next to Steph for the first half of the year. And I think as we get other people healthy, we've got more protection for that group, in terms of rim protection and rotations. And so I think we'll be able to play those three guys quite a bit.
And is part of that just the determination that Jordan's going to have to play a lot of minutes? There's just can't be aware, he's going to play an 18-minute game, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he needs to play. I mean, he's so explosive, and but he's still a young player, and he still needs to be held accountable for mistakes or defensive errors, anything like that, we're gonna stay on him because I think his ceiling is even higher than what he's where he's playing right now, and he's still such a young guy that we've got to make sure we keep pushing him.
Following up on Jordan, how have you seen his facilitating and ball handling kind of improved over the stretch, especially with Draymond out having to step up in that area?
Yeah, he's he's had the ball in his hands a lot more with Draymond out. And the great thing with when he plays with Steph and Klay is there's a lot of open court, because of the spacing that we have, and he's so quick getting to the bucket, on pick and roll or attacking closeouts, and so it makes for a good combination, especially when he's knocking down threes like he was tonight.
Klay held the Clippers to 2 of 10 when he was the primary defender. How have you seen his defense kind of come along as he's tried to get back to being that two-way player? Yeah, Klay.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good defensive effort. He asked us the other day to be put on the best perimeter player. He wants that challenge. I think that's part of his comeback and his return is embracing that role. And so I thought that was a great sign. I thought he did a really good job tonight.
Just about you. So you're basically looking possibly with Poole, Kuminga, and Moody as part of your playoff rotation. Kind of already said that. Is that exciting for you? Is it scary for you? Thinking you've got 21, 19, and 19 going to be playing playoff minutes.
Yeah, I mean it's and we'll obviously every matchup's different. You don't know how guys are going to respond, but I'm going into this stretch run with great confidence in all of them. And what a great learning experience for them to play these minutes and to feel this kind of pressure being on a good team and trying to improve our playoff seeding and then going into the playoffs. It's all good stuff, but you never know what happens once the playoffs start. Changes can happen quickly. So we just got to get them prepared as best we can and then see what happens from there.
Steve, I know you're keeping Steph out for 6 minutes, bridging the quarters. Generally speaking, do you feel comfortable doing that long stretch because of Poole, or how much does Poole make you feel comfortable going that long without Curry?
Yeah. I mean, when Jordan is playing well and creating shots for himself and others, then it gives us a lot more of a comfort level, keeping Steph on the bench. So I think that's a big part of all of this. If Jordan can continue to play at a high level, it gives us the luxury of giving Steph a little more rest.
We were locked in defensively tonight, and we were able to get to our rotations, and we did a really good job on a really good team.
What do you think's gotten you in a really good rhythm the last 4 games?
Just being aggressive, playing my game.
What do you think has upped that aggressiveness?
I don't really think I've lost it or like it went up or down. I don't think. I mean, just kind of figure out throughout the game and just kind of play it. I guess it's different games night in and night out. So you got to kind of figure it out.
What was there a moment, maybe it's before the Dallas game or whatever, where maybe you're watching on film and you didn't like your aggressiveness level and decided to up it? Gotcha.
Since Draymond's been out, how have you felt about the increased ball handling and facilitating that you've had to do?
I mean, I think it comes with the role, it comes with the position. Luckily, I'm comfortable in handling the ball and making plays for my teammates and try to put them in good situations. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Steve has talked about how he likes the combination of you out there with Steph and Klay. How has it been playing with those two guys?
It feels really fluent, just being able to kind of get Steph off the ball and get him some easy looks. And at the same time, you got to watch out for Klay because he's also extremely aggressive. And, they've given me the green light too to just continue to play my game. So it's kind of three three things you got to worry about out there on top of our offense. So just continue to learn and try to put these guys in really easy situations throughout the game.
You're obviously a veteran by now, but you're not the oldest guy in the world, and you've got Kuminga and Moody basically earning rotation spots going into the playoffs possibly. What's that? I mean, is there a group feeling of this? Do you feel like a little bit of the leader of this group since you're a veteran? What's that like?
Group in terms of like who? Like the young guys? Just be ready for the moment. Be ready for the opportunity. You don't know when it's going to be or when it'll present itself or where it'll be. So just continue to work and prepare yourself for the situation because it's going to come, and just be ready. And I just kind of try to tell all of the young guys that, because you never know. It's the NBA, so things change every night.
The defensive energy was up tonight. What do you accredit? How do you account for the defense you guys played, especially the first half of the game?
We remember how they came out, and when we were in LA a couple of weeks ago, and obviously for us, it was a sense of urgency. Understand to give ourselves a chance to get out of this hole and get a win, and remember what that feels like. Our defensive energy and presence needed to be there, and besides, like that 6-minute stretch in the fourth quarter, it's really solid effort out there. Everybody's on the string, making multiple efforts, being physical. And then that you see how it leads to easy offense when you can push the ball and you're not having to take it out of the basket every play or giving them easy free throws. So that's how you draw it up in terms of Warrior basketball on both ends of the floor. We just got to try to build that and keep putting games together.
How much of it do you think was physicality, and how much of it do you think was just awareness of who you were playing and what you need to do to guard certain guys?
It was all of that, and getting sick and tired of losing.
How did the conversation come about to go back to pretty much your old rotation pattern, and what do you think that does?
What game was it? LA? Coach texted me. I was on the bus on the way to the game and said, "Hey, I think we should go back to all rotation." I said, "Yes, sir."
Where did you?
That literally is how it went down.
How happy were you when you saw the text?
I don't want to overblow. Like I knew, like we've always talked about, at a certain point when we were finishing the year, that was going to be the way to go, especially with Klay back and options to figure out how to keep our second unit cohesive. So it's just a matter of when, and hopefully give us a good, scope of games to, for everybody to be comfortable, because it helps me to obviously know, get a rhythm and get into the game. It helps the second unit know that you're going to have a certain stretch of time, know certain calls and sets, and hopefully get some chemistry with that group. So we'll see.
Kerr mentioned that they like you, Klay, and Jordan together. There's proof that works. I hadn't really seen it a lot, but has there been kind of a conversation to get that group out there more often?
Not with us. Like obviously there's been a lot of different combinations of guys, and I don't know what the numbers say in terms of us three out there and whoever the other two are, but you just, as long as we're making the right play, being aggressive and letting the game come to us, there's enough shooting and playmaking, and we can work off each other really well. You just got to make shots, obviously, and then you got to do it on the defensive end, and we can push the pace too, because you got Klay running the wing, me or Jordan bringing it up. You kind of pick your poison type vibe, but you got to get enough stops to be able to make teams pay for that. So tonight was a good night, I guess, with our stretch of minutes.
Steph, how much can a fun pregame like that with Will Ferrell taking the court and surprising you guys kind of just lift the mood, lighten the spirit?
It can go either way.
Okay, it looked fun.
It was fun. I'm glad we took advantage of it, but we lost like 4 or 5 straight, and you add that to the mix, get a little distracted. But I think we fed off the energy. I was actually surprised how well how his form. He actually had some good rotation on the ball and endless energy. I don't know how. I saw him come out. Thought it was just going to be a couple minutes of just messing around, but he really gave it a full, warm-up session. Was out there doing everything. He gave us a riveting speech before the game in our team meeting. So it was good vibes. He's obviously hilarious, so he brought it today. The 2-ball, it's not for everybody.
Kerr said that Klay is requested to defend the best perimeter player, like he has certainly in the past. I don't know if you knew that, you heard that, but I'm sure that doesn't surprise you that Klay, I think his pride is a little bit up right now. Maybe do you sense that?
Yeah, that's the nature of like a competitive beast that he is, and the high expectations he has for himself. Like even after a game like tonight, he's still talking about a shot. And I'm like, yo, it's gonna come. Just keep being aggressive. As your Klay Thompson. Don't ever forget that. And I guess that goes to both ends of the ball. Just you want to maybe that challenge or get him locked in a little bit, to start games and give him something to look forward to outside of just trying to put the ball in the basket. So it's a great sign that I guess his body feels good enough coming off, the extended break he's had to take on that challenge. He's obviously more than capable, so it's good to know he's thinking like that.
You closed tonight with Moody and Kuminga on the floor, and Poole. Can you feel that kind of collective merging into I guess bigger factors late in the season?
I mean, yes and no. Like we obviously have two guys that are huge parts of what we do with Draymond and Andre, that if they're healthy, they're going to be out there. And you have a lot of confidence that we can win at the highest level with those two guys, but you have to have a collective of, 9, 10, 11 guys to go into a playoffs and feel like you can throw them out there at any point and they can contribute. So as much experience as they can get, as much confidence as those three guys can have, and just an understanding of what it's going to take to win when it matters. You hope you can count on that, whatever the situation is or whatever they're asked to do. So that'll materialize as we go through the rest of the season.
It sounds like the return of Draymond, who announced his own, and Andre and James is more a matter of days than weeks. The timing of this, how do you feel about the timing of this, giving you guys some time before the postseason hits?
As many games as we can get is huge, obviously. We want them healthy. You don't want to rush that process. Most of the guys have been through it, where there's a anxiousness that lasts a little bit where you feel good enough to play, but you kind of got to go through that last, part of the return to play protocols and all of that just to make sure you check off all the boxes. But there is a sense of urgency for us to get on the right path, these last, 16, 17 games. So I'm excited about it. Obviously, I know the whole team is, and I know they are. And again, the more reps we can get, the better. We want to go into the playoffs with some feel good, however we can make that happen.
Piggybacking off of that, what have you seen from James Wiseman in your recent workouts and scrimmages? Do you feel like he's just right there knocking at the door to get back into game action?
Yeah, obviously he's going to play on Thursday, I think they said, in Santa Cruz. And that's going to be big for him just to get into a 5-on-5 competitive action, break a sweat, and, just see how he responds. He's obviously very gifted and just the physical presence, something that we just don't have. But we'll see how that manifests in terms of, what he looks like when he's playing. I'm just excited he gets to hoop. Like that's the the biggest thing. Rehab sucks and it's monotonous, and especially when you're a young guy like that has been in that process for the majority of the beginning of your career. So just to let him play and kind of let the bird out the cage a little bit. Whatever he can bring when he's ready to come up here, we'll see, and hopefully we can put him in positions to be successful no matter what that looks like.
Do you still think he could help this team during a playoff run?
Yeah, he does stuff that we saw a little, bits and pieces last year before you got hurt, that he was starting to really figure it out in terms of, defensive paint presence, understanding our offense and how, we can help him make things a little easier. Obviously that was a long time ago, and you just want to put him in a position where he can be successful. So hopefully we'll have enough games to coach to, press his, call his number and see what happens. And for him to just have confidence when he goes out there and just play. So we'll see.
Favorite kind of question. Did you kind of tweak your ankle a little bit there? Right ankle. Is everything okay?
All good. No worries at all.
Steph, you spent not a lot of time, but time off the ball, like basically pointing to Jordan Poole to essentially go cook. And I was thinking the players over your career who've been on the opposite side, it's been like Monte, Jared Jack, KD. Why do you feel so comfortable with that being Poole? And what is it about him that makes you like him as the opposite playmaker of you?
I mean, how gifted of a scorer he is. He's got as close to like a 3-level type approach for a young guy, and he's really dynamic. And it, at times throughout the game, it gives the defense a different look, because I know how they game plan against me, and usually that's either a top block or a bunch of blitzes or extra bodies, and then you got to put JP in a pick and roll, and they got to make adjustments or try to get the ball out of his hands, and then you got me and Klay and whoever on the backside. So it just gives us a different look, and you got to know when the right times of the game to go to it. And then if it works, keep going to it, because he's capable enough to make those plays and really put pressure on a defense that may or may not prepare for that. So I like the way he's coming into just being aggressive, being aggressive, but keeping things simple. That's been the next evolution for him, because he's so dynamic. He can shoot three, he can beat you off the dribble. He's a crafty finisher, got float game, everything. So it's a different look.
Where does his confidence rank among the youngsters you've played with, like 21 and under, I guess?
Well, in recent history, I haven't had a lot of them. So he's on his own journey on that front. I'm loving watching him and building confidence in himself, because that 5-year run, we didn't really have the need for some young guys to come in like that and have that much responsibility. And he's in a different role.
This was an important kind of defensive sign that you guys can bring the defense back.
Absolutely. Holding them to 35.5% and 31 from three. I think it's a great night any way you chalk it up.
Klay, why did you request the toughest defensive assignment? And it feels early for me and my knees, but why do you feel comfortable doing that?
Well, prior to these 20 games, I have not felt that responsibility for a couple of years. So I always thought to challenge myself defensively, and I knew it was going to take some time before I could. Still going to take time before I can be that two-way force I am. So why not start now? I thought that in my head.
Klay, was that before this game that you asked that? Is it going to continue every game? You're going to want that assignment?
I'm not, to be honest, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure when I said that, but that does sound like myself. That really does.
Sounds like Steve's trying to use this three guard lineup with you and Jordan and Steph out there. What do you like about that trio?
All three great scorers from every level and great shooters and floor spacers and just still growing together. I mean, we haven't played much together, but I think the sky's the limit when we're on the floor together. We just all do things our own way, but very effectively.
What did you think about that pregame shooting session with the extra visitor out there?
That was so much fun. That was some of the most fun I've had on the court this year, and I'm very appreciative that Will could come out and lighten the mood, especially after the losing streak we had. And not gonna say he's responsible for the win tonight, but I think he was a huge catalyst for why we came out guns blazing. He's a legend.
Why do you love the character Jackie Moon so much?
I'm just a fan of his. He's made me laugh since I was a kid, and that movie's hilarious. And he's just one of my favorite comics out there. So, man, that was fun. And that movie, Semi-Pro, during my rehabilitation, when I'd have some dark days, I would just put that movie on and it would make me smile. So very thankful for that film.
Draymond set March 14th as his targeted return date. You guys have played just like 7 seconds together. How excited are you to finally have this core group back together?
I'm so excited. I haven't been on the floor with Dre in some years, so I love competing with Draymond. He brings us to another level, and we dearly miss him out there. And I'm just so grateful he's coming back. We're not the same, obviously, without him.
Clay, you looked surprised when Farrell hit the court. Were you actually literally surprised that he was out there?
Yeah, I had no idea that was coming, and that was so cool. I mean, dreams do come true.
Steph said it could have been good, it could have been bad. You know, obviously you guys are working there. You're getting close to a basketball game. Was there any moment where you thought, this might be a little out of hand right now?
No, I still got my shots up. I was still getting my work in, and it was just great to see him in character. That was so funny. Hopefully not the last time. That was great.
Clay, he actually closed out on you. He was defending you when you were shooting those threes from the baseline and was screaming in your face and closing out. And Steph said he was surprised how much energy he had out there. He was dribbling, he was passing, he banked in a half court shot.
Pretty sure he played high school basketball, and I mean, it was at times hard to focus with him closing out on me, but gosh, he's funny and he just does things effortlessly. So that was awesome, man. I'll never forget that night. And I played 34 minutes tonight. That's gotta be a season high, and that's so cool. I mean, that's great. That's more like my average, and that gets me excited.
How did you think you did defensively, Clay, today?
I thought I played well. I mean, not happy with 2 for 9 from 3, especially, the good looks I was getting, but I'm going to keep working, and my shot's going to fall at a high rate. That's who I am.